All right, Thomas. Thomas Watson, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Fresh from the night race in May.
Yep.
Tell everybody how that was for you and how your recovery's been since then.
It was actually it didn't go as well as I had hoped. I was hoping I could have pulled off 100K that night, but it just didn't happen for me. I think the pavement got the better of me because I haven't done a lot of pavement running in the 2 years that I've been running. It's been mostly trails and dirt roads. But I quit when I quit, and I was able to run a couple days later. So right back into my training plan.
Right. That's fantastic that you recovered that quick. Have you since then added a bit more hard surface to your running in anticipation of the night section this July? Or do you think you're going to be a smart runner and enjoy some of the delicious Pigeon Hill or Parker's free beer that we have after completing 1 or 2 laps? To me, that's the most sensible thing to do in this race, but not many people do.
No, I think I'll probably change up my shoes this time, have something a little more pavement friendly when we get to the night portion. But July is going to be my peak training time. And so I'm actually going to use Ode just for the hours on my feet. I'm hoping I can pull off 24 yards without a whole lot of injury or fatigue setting in at that point. If the wheels come off early, then I'm out. If the competition's no good, then I stand a chance at winning at 24. I doubt that's going to be the case after seeing the lineup. But I'm just there to have a good time and get some miles.
Great. And so what's your goal race that you're aiming for? Tell us about that.
It's actually the Bigfoot 200. So out in Washington, Mount St. Helen. I've been training for that one since November.
And you're saying you're telling me that you've only started running 2 years ago.
Yeah, I did my first 5K. It was kind of a joke in August of 2019.
Okay, well, I'm no mathematician, but that means about 2 years into your career, you're doing a 200 miler.
Yep. I did
a fairly steep ramp up.
I did my first 100 last October. So somehow managed to pull that one off 6 weeks early in my training plan because my actual race was canceled.
Wow. Holy cow. This is ambitious, Thomas.
I got another a race coming up on Saturday. It's a 24-hour run, the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, sure. Great race.
And that one I'm hoping I can do 100 miles at and feel a whole lot better than I did the first time.
All right. Well, eat and drink up. You got a lot of heat going on right now, right? So
yeah,
let's hope that eases up a bit for you.
Yeah, it was looking like it was going to be a nice, hot, sunny day, and now they're calling for possible rain. So it might make things interesting, but it's in a 24-hour period. It's going to suck at some point, so you might as well just get used to that part.
That's good advice. I hope most of the runners that haven't come before are watching all these pre-interviews because it's from folks of all different running abilities with all different aspirations. You're, I would say, an aberration on the high end of the scale of not only what you're going to be achieving, but how quickly you've achieved it. And that's very sound advice. You know what? You're going to go out there and you're going to try to execute your plan, but there's going to be some bad parts. There's going to be some low points. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep your head about you when you get through them, right? And know that people are going to help you.
And, for me, when it comes to the plan, I'm not big on a rigid, strategy of, X, Y, and Z, because it's going to fall apart, and it's going to fall apart early. So I just kind of have a basic idea. Here's how I need to fuel. Here's how I need to hydrate, and just take it as it comes.
Well, I think you did a great job at the night race. I mean, I know it was hard on you at the end.
Yeah.
You really pulled out some time on your feet there when you probably shouldn't have. I know how hard you were working there. So kudos to that. And, it's not that we want that to always happen in the race. It just seems to be a recurring theme. I mean, you're an ultra runner, and that's what you're aspiring to do. So you and the rest of the athletes are very unique in their ability to try to put themselves through that kind of torture in a good way with some sensibility. I mean, you were pretty level-headed when you stopped and explained what you were doing as well, and what got you to where you were at the end. So it was good. None of us had to worry about you because you were still managing yourself perfectly well after all that effort. So that was fantastic. Do you have a crew that's coming with you this year to the?
No. My wife and kids might come up for a little bit during the day. For the most part, I do a lot of these things pretty much self-supported. And then, whoever I happen to be with that I know is kind of, you hang out with them, you kind of feed off of their energy. But I do most of my training, solo miles. So I don't have a problem getting myself set up and taking care of my own needs.
Great. For your race this July, what do you feel, or what are you anticipating is going to be the most likely large hurdle that you have to overcome?
For me, it's probably just going to be the fatigue. Like I said, that's going to be my peak training month. So going into Ode, I'm already going to be pretty tired. I think that's going to be my biggest hurdle, physically and mentally, because mentally I'm going to want to, just rest, because that's the point I'm going to be at. And it's going to be the kind of training I need. I need to be able to push when I'm already tired. You're not going to make it through a 200-mile race and not feel that way. So starting out old, already kind of fatigued. I think if I can pull off 24 yards there, then, I'm kind of setting myself up in great shape for August.
Yep. Boy, that's an ambitious plan. So I hope everybody else, when they're on lap 3 and they're running next to you and they're starting to feel tired and heavy legs, they look at you and say, well, this guy came into it already beat up. So if he can do it, I can do it. So you'll probably be an inspiration to everybody there.
Yep. Yeah. It's amazing how those inspirations kind of work for you. Cause there's some runners that I think of when I'm getting tired and I'm like, man, they did it. And they did it like this for 6 more hours than I've already been going.
Are there any folks that you're looking forward to running with that you've met through the Ode, or are you running with any friends that you're bringing that haven't run an Ode lap before?
No, there's nobody that I'm bringing that hasn't run an Ode lap. And I ran some of my first Ode loops out there with Gary Lawson. And he's just a great guy to run with. So I always enjoy my runs with him. It's good conversation. It's just a good guy all around.
One of my favorites, one of our favorite Ode family members. We just posted an interview with him. So.
Oh yeah, I'll have to watch
You'll have to check it out. Yeah, it just went up today. Were you aware, you may have been out running yourself ragged, were you aware that just a few hours ago, the new backyard world record was set at 81 yards?
I was kind of keeping up on that. I was keeping up on that a little bit. Last I checked, it was 78, I believe. It's incredible. I mean, I can't wrap my head around it.
And the fact that I think it's John and Matt, were their names, were battling solo for so long, over a day, just those two.
And at that point, I would like to think if I was there, it wouldn't even be battling; it'd be running together with somebody.
you have to assume that's what it was like, and I just hope they had a great experience. So I trust they did.
Oh yeah.
What's the you did the backyard style in May, and you're training for a different race, so you're in a little bit different position than most of the runners. If you were solely focusing on the backyard, how would your training be different than it is now for a continuous ultra?
Actually, I was talking with another guy about that. I would put a lot more emphasis on my pacing strategy, and actually practicing that pacing strategy, out on long run days. Get not just looking for 8 hours on my feet, but 8 hours on my feet with, figuring out what I need for rest, how much time do I need to regroup and refuel and, get my stuff together so I'm ready for another lap in an hour. Because it doesn't sound difficult to run, 4.17 miles in an hour. And it's not if you do one. But the more you stack up, the more things get complicated and the less time you have to figure it out. So I would focus more on just figuring out what's that sweet spot of not running too hard and having enough time, versus not having any time, but, not being tired after that loop. So I would definitely put some more emphasis on that. And, this race year was already kind of figured before I signed up for Ode. But next year I'm going to do Ode, and that's going to be my goal.
Well, now, so a lot of things are happening today. We have a world record. We're talking about your next year's plans. And on the same day of the world record, we launch our Perfect PR Backyard Ultra right here at Independence Oaks Park. And
I saw that.
That's now the sister race, brother race to the Ode to Laz, if you will. So we have one race where it's tough single track, a lot of elevation. It's a punishing race from a strength point of view. And then we have what Gary Cantrell, Lazarus Lake, said is the optimal. He didn't say this about this course. He's saying the optimal backyard course is the easiest course you can create because it makes the race purely now a battle of mental will. The course isn't fatiguing you. So we wanted to have a race at that end of the spectrum as well, and we've done it right here in our same county, and now equally beautiful park at Independence Oaks, and the beautiful wide cinder paths and paved paths, and a quarter mile of boardwalk through the wildlife preserve. So it's same route all 24 hours, never change, one start finish line, and it's going to be spectacular because there's about 70 feet of elevation depending on which mapping tool you look at. And honestly, I don't even understand where that 70 comes from in the loop. It feels dead flat.
I think that's your arm swing.
And that's it. So
that elevation comes from your arm swing.
The arm swing, maybe it is. I mean, really, it's just hard to imagine. You've probably been there before, but so if you're talking about next year, that's going to be a difficult decision for you. For you, what do you think you would choose if? And of course, I hope people run both, but you can't really do two backyards in a year. It's very punishing on your body. If you're making one, if you do both, you have to pick one to prioritize. Which one would you pick? Would it be the flat, low elevation, wide course, or the hard, gnarly single track?
I would pick the hard, gnarly single track. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Okay. And is that the reason? Because you love the punishment? You want the pain to come on faster?
I like that loop at Holly. I think it's a beautiful trail, and it's fun, and it's interesting, and that's the sort of trail that I really enjoy running. It takes a lot more effort, but it's still a level playing field when you look at all the contestants. So I wouldn't want to race against somebody running Independence while I'm running Holly.
Well,
but
of course not.
I would prefer Holly if we're all there.
Okay, we won't do that. We won't split you up into two different groups and make
Yeah.
half you run one and half you run the other. We'll all be at the same spot. That's going to be the weekend before Memorial Day next year, and then late July will be the other one. So you probably can't do a max effort in both when they're that close together. We realize we'll be stealing runners from our own race, but we want everyone to have a choice of something that's dramatically different, two different personalities, but with equal beauty on the trail. So I think that's what we've achieved. So I'm going to give you some lightning round questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What's your favorite band?
Johnny Cash.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Cousin Eddie or Clark Griswold?
Cousin Eddie.
Finally, yes, my favorite. Chatty or not chatty during the race?
Ooh, really depends. If I'm running a lot of elevation, I'm not chatty. I'm saving my energy.
Swedish Fish or Sour Patch Kids?
Swedish Fish.
Well done, medium or rare?
Oh, closer on the rare side because nobody can cook a medium.
Porta John or Bush's?
Bushes.
Favorite donut?
Boston cream.
Oh, that's the second one, I think. Little Debbie or Mr. Kipling's?
Little Debbie.
All right. Thomas, thank you. You've made it to the end, and you now have the honor of asking me one question, anything. You can't ask me who my favorite is to win the race. But if you have a question, go ahead and fire.
Oh, boy. One question. I wasn't prepared for this. I thought I
I'm
was
sorry, Thomas. You don't have to ask me anything. We can talk at the race.
Yeah, we will.
All right. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Safe training.
All right. Thank you.
Time with us tonight.
All right. Stay safe.
Thank you.